My speeches would start in three, two, one. In a world that is constantly evolving and marked by changes in connectivity, work patterns, and also lifestyle, our education systems have remained largely rigid. Higher education still relies on outdated models like lecture halls, expensive campuses fees, and fixed locations created for the needs of the 20th centuries. However, right now we are living in the 21st centuries, so it is very necessary for our education systems to evolve and improve. On the proposition side, we argue that a permanent shift towards online tertiary education is not only beneficial, but it is necessary. Let's stop here for a moment and ask, what is the true function of higher educations or tertiary educations in specific? It is proposed is to provide individuals with knowledge, skills, and opportunity, not to examine how well individuals can pay rent, change cities, or get by in an inflexible systems. But today, university life is determined more by infrastructures than intellectuals, by privilege rather than potential. That is the very inequality we aim to transform. That's why, on the side propositions, we strongly believe that this House believes in a permanent shift to tertiary educations online. This move implies that colleges and universities globally will forever provide their whole curriculum via online platforms, encompassing all lectures, tasks, discussion, and even practical sessions through a variety of contemporary digital tools. This does not equate to a lesser quality or depth of education. It simply implies that the way it is imparted is altered to prioritize ease of access, flexibility, and innovations. We wish to build a world in which education is about learning, not about locations. Our first argument is offline education systematically excludes people. Offline university is too expensive and logistically unfeasible for millions, not due to a lack of desire for them to learn, but because the system renders it inaccessible. So, attending colleges offline typically involves relocating to a large cities, paying rent, transportation, food, adjusting to a completely new environment, all before opening a single textbook. That's not just expensive, it's also limiting. If your family depends on you, if you live in a rural community, if you have physical disabilities, then the doors of opportunity for higher education is silently closed. Not because you're not capable, but it's because the system was designed for a particular concept. For example, a talented student from a small town cannot afford to relocate to the capital. A single mother cannot abandon her child for 4 years. A disabled student cannot access inaccessible campuses. These are not exceptional cases, these are real people. They log in, learn, and graduate in our world the same as anyone else. They study from home, they save their own money, and they have a chance at work, something they work for. Finally, offline education unjustly excludes qualified individuals. Online education restored that equity, and we believe most reasonable people would say that's a future worth building. Our second argument is online education adapts to real life. Human beings are not identical, though the present system believes they are. There are some people who are visual learners, others who requires repetitions. Some are introverts, others are neurodivergent. Some must work part-time or look after their families or manage their mental health problems. Offline learning would state, sit still, listen now, test next week. However, online learning dictates, pause, reply, catch up, and learn your way. For example, for a student with ADHD in an online environment, they can reply their lectures. For working students, night courses are available. For a shy student, they can ask questions via chat. These are basic modification, but they create huge differences. We offer screen readers, caption, digital libraries, recorded lectures, and immediate feedback. This make it possible for everyone to succeed, not only for some typical students. If education is supposed to empower all the students and not just a certain kind of student, then the shift isn't merely an improvement, it's long overdue. And our third argument is we can do practical courses online if we want to. Others will say, but what about medicals, a medical student? What about engineering? What about sports? We say, even those we can be done online, for it's already being done. These professions are not 100% hands-on. They have huge theoretical components, anatomy, mechanics, diagnostics that lend themselves readily to online instructions. And for the hands-on components, technology takes care of that. For example, the medical student can use VR or 3D virtual bodies. Engineering students can utilize remote lab kits. Sports students use motion tracking cameras. Pilots can use flight simulators. Artists can use tablets to draw digitally. None of this necessity daily campus attendance. We provide students with VR labs, AI feedback, step-by-step videos, demonstration, and real-time support. What matters is not where you are learning, but how much can you learn. If simulations can help this to teach pilots to fly airplanes, they can help you to teach physicians to save lives. Let's now engage opposition directly because we already know the things they would say. First, they will say offline builds discipline, but that's just a romantic idea. Not everyone can follow a rigid routines, especially for those who's working, caregiving, and struggling with their health. We flip this. Real discipline is self-management, and online systems support that with deadlines, trackers, and learning tools. Then they will say offline builds stronger community, but that only works if you can fit in. Many faces exclusion like LGBTQ plus students face harassment, how low-income students cannot join social life, and disabled students are left behind. Online platforms let students connect safely. Our models works for more, and that's the side that truly serves educations. At the end of the day, this debate is about what education should truly be. And we believe most of us agree that it should be fair, inclusive, and also effective. We don't just present ideals, we show how to achieve them. Our side give people access they never had, tools that adapt to their needs, and the freedom to learn without fear or even pressure. We have shown how online education doesn't remove value, it unlocks it for more people than ever before. And even if the opposition's world works well for some, we prove that our world works better for many more. That's not just a better policy, that is a better future. And that is why we are proud to propose this motion. Thank you.